Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. My name's Alex Carter. I'm 42. I work in HVAC, heating, ventilation, the kind of work where you sweat through your shirt before 9 a.m. It ain't glamorous, but it's honest, pays decent, and I sleep well at night. I met Donna back in 2017 during a job at a real estate office. She worked the front desk, clipboard in hand, always answering phones, tapping keys like her fingers had somewhere to be. She wasn't flashy, just sharp. Brown hair tied back, gold hoops in her ears, voice smooth but firm. She didn't smile much, but I noticed her right away. Something about her felt finished, like she had a plan, and you either fit into it or you didn't. We talked a bit while I worked on the rooftop unit. She came outside with a bottle of water. One thing led to another. Coffee a week later, dinner the next. She liked my steadiness, said it made her feel grounded. I liked her drive. It made me move faster. We moved in after 6 months, got married within a year. Our house wasn't huge, 3 small bedrooms, 1 bathroom. Not a dream home, but it was ours. I painted the walls myself, fixed the squeaky cabinets, even built a little fire pit out back. She'd light candles on the porch, and we'd sit out there drinking sweet tea and talking about nothing. It felt solid, real. Mornings were quiet, warm. She'd hum while making coffee. I'd leave her notes on the fridge. Nights were even better. We'd fall asleep tangled up. No words, just breath and heartbeat. I didn't need anything fancy. I just wanted to be her man. And for a while I was. It started slow, like a slow leak in a pipe you don't see until the wall's already soft. Donna started staying out later. Client wanted a last-minute showing, she'd say, tossing her keys on the counter without looking at me. Her texts got shorter, calls fewer. She'd come home already tired, eyes on her phone, answering emails. I didn't panic, not at first. Work was picking up for her, and I figured she was just under pressure. Real estate is cutthroat, especially in this market. So I made dinner more often, gave her space, rubbed her shoulders some nights, even when she didn't ask. But the shift didn't stop. The touches stopped first. No kisses when I left in the morning. No hugs when I walked through the door. Then it was the bed. She started rolling to the far edge like I had some infection. Every night I'd reach out, and every night she'd shift away or pull the covers tighter. "Not tonight," she'd say, voice flat. "I'm tired." Tiredness turned into headaches. Headaches turned into, "Don't start." One night, I slid my arm around her waist, and she sighed like I'd just ruined her peace. "You always want something," she mumbled. I rolled over, said nothing. Morning after morning, she'd brush past me in the kitchen. No eye contact, no good morning. I'd still make her coffee, still pack her lunch when I had time. She'd take it without a word, walk out the door like I was the houseplant. I told myself it was a phase. People go through ruts. Life gets busy. I reminded myself we used to laugh. We used to sit on the porch and talk about baby names. But the truth is, the woman I loved was disappearing one night at a time. She didn't push me away once. She denied me every night for months, and after a while you stop asking. A few days later, I came home early. Job site got delayed, so I pulled into the driveway around 2:15. The house was quiet. I stepped inside, heard voices coming from the bedroom. The door was half closed. Donna was on speakerphone with someone, probably Pam from her office, judging by the tone. That fake, easy kind of voice she never used with me anymore. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I was just frozen in the hallway. "I don't know, Pam," she said, voice hushed but clear. "He's just boring now. Like, I don't even feel anything when he touches me. He's sweet, sure, but it's like living with a wall." Pam said something I couldn't make out. Donna laughed. Not a real laugh, more like a scoff. "I'm just waiting for the right moment. Honestly, if something better came along, I wouldn't blink." That moment? That was the end of something. Not the marriage, not yet, but my hope, I think. I backed up, stepped outside, and sat in my truck for 45 minutes without turning the engine on. I didn't scream. I just stared at the windshield, hands on the wheel, trying to remember what I did so wrong. That night, I didn't say anything. I crawled into bed like usual, and like clockwork, she rolled away. Once I heard that call, something in me flipped. Not loud, not angry, just done. I didn't slam doors or pick fights. That's not how I work. I just started pulling back, slow and quiet, the same way she did. The next morning, I got up at 5, showered, made my own breakfast, Didn't make coffee for two like I used to. Didn't leave her a note. Just walked out the front door before the sun came up. She denied me every night, so I started avoiding her every morning. She texted me around noon. Everything okay? I stared at it. Thought about answering. Didn't. From then on, I left the house earlier than ever. Got to the job before the crew. Worked harder. Took longer routes home. When I walked in the door, I kept my shoes on, said a quiet, "Hey," if I felt generous, and went straight to the garage. The silence started to get to her. One night, we were both in the kitchen. She opened the fridge, then turned to me. "You've been distant," she said. "What's going on with you lately?" I wiped grease off my hands and looked at her calmly. "Nothing you haven't taught me." She blinked. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means I finally stopped showing up where I'm not wanted." Her face tightened. She turned back to the fridge and slammed it shut. Over the next few weeks, she tried little moves, sat closer on the couch, wore lipstick to dinner, made pasta she used to say was our meal. But it all landed flat. I didn't touch her, didn't ask questions, didn't give her the attention she used to ignore. She'd say things like, "You don't even try anymore." And I'd nod, not out of spite, just confirmation. I wasn't being cold. I was being done. Every morning I left earlier. Didn't look at her in bed, didn't say goodbye. The same way she denied me night after night, I returned the favor in silence. She trained me without knowing it. Now she was starting to feel it. I didn't want revenge. I wanted clarity, clean lines. So I got strategic. On a Friday afternoon, I left work early and drove downtown to meet Gwen Bailey, divorce attorney, sharp as a tack, and not one to waste words. She listened to everything I told her. Every night, Donna rolled away. Every conversation turned into a cold wall. When I finished laying everything out, Gwen leaned back in her chair, calm and calculating. She understood the situation instantly. There was no need to explain further. She saw it for what it was, a slow suffocation I'd finally decided to escape. She gave a small nod, then got straight to business, starting with the bank accounts. Over the next few weeks, I played it cool. Opened a new account, got a P.O. box, found a rental behind an old brake shop, clean little place, no neighbors, no noise. Jeremy, my best friend, helped me haul boxes on Sundays while Donna went to open houses or spa days with Pam. Donna started sensing something. She'd call out from the living room, "Where are you going?" when I left early. Or she'd try making dinner, steaks one night, baked ziti another. Once, she lit candles like we were back in year one. But I just said, "Thanks," and ate in silence. The funny thing was, now that I stopped chasing her, she started watching me. Not talking, watching. Like she couldn't figure out when the shift happened. Like she still thought I was the same man who used to beg for her time. But that man packed his lunch and left before daylight now. Didn't say goodbye. Whatever we had left was buried under routine and silence. It was a Saturday when she finally cracked. I'd been out early, picking up some shelving for the new place. When I got home that afternoon, Donna was sitting at the kitchen table like she'd been posing there for hours. Hair curled, soft sweater, makeup done. "I think we need to talk," she said. "All right." She looked at me like she was trying to read a blueprint she didn't understand. "I don't get what happened. You barely talk to me. You act like I'm not even here." I sat across from her, calm. "You trained me." Her brow furrowed. "What?" "You trained me to stop talking, to stop reaching for you. You trained me not to try." She laughed under her breath, confused. "That's not fair." "No, it's accurate. Every night you turned away. Every time I reached out, you made me feel like a problem. So I adapted. I did what you taught me. I stopped showing up." Her eyes got glossy. "I didn't mean for things to get this bad." "That's the thing, Donna. You didn't mean anything. You just expected I'd stay, that I'd keep showing up while you slowly disappeared." She looked down, said nothing. I slid an envelope across the table. Inside was the separation agreement, already signed. Clean terms, no drama. She stared at it like it was written in a foreign language. "You're leaving me?" I nodded. "Already have. You just didn't notice." She reached for my hand across the table. I pulled mine back. "I'm not here to beg," I said. "Not anymore." She stood up fast, voice cracking. "We can fix this. I've been stressed, and I shut you out. But we can go to therapy or—" I stood too, calm, still. You denied me every night, for a year. Now that I've stopped asking, you want to talk? She started crying, said my name, followed me to the door. I turned once before stepping out. You taught me silence. Now you get to hear it. And I walked out. I stayed gone. Moved into the rental that Sunday. Mattress on the floor, plastic table, nothing on the walls yet, but it felt more like home than the house I'd spent 5 years fixing with Donna. Jeremy dropped off a few things for me midweek, set down a cooler of beer and said, "You look 10 years younger." "I feel it," I said. Meanwhile, Donna was unraveling. First, it was the texts. "Can we talk? I miss us. I just want to understand." I didn't respond. Not one. Then the calls started. 3, 4 times a day. Voicemail full of her voice sounding soft, then angry, then crying. I didn't listen past the first 5 seconds. Pam reached out next. A message on Facebook. "Hey, Donna's hurting. Maybe just give her a chance to talk." I left it on read. In the silence, I started rebuilding. Literally. Got back into carpentry. Built a bench, then a coffee table. Went on morning runs. Picked up books I hadn't touched in years. Started grilling on weekends, sometimes just for me. I never told anyone what I heard her say on that call. Never threw it in her face, because the truth is, it didn't matter anymore. She had a year to speak up, a year to reach across the space she created. But she never did, until I walked away. Now she could sit in that silence, the same one she used to deny me every night. 6 months passed. Mornings became my favorite time of day. I'd wake up at 5:15 sharp, hit the shower, brew black coffee, and sit out on the back step of that little rental. Nothing fancy, just me. Steam rising off the mug, sun not even up yet. Peace. The kind you don't notice until you've lived without it for too damn long. Then came the final text from Donna. "I've changed. I'm in therapy. I miss you. Can we talk?" I stared at the screen for a while, then typed one line. "I'm not who I was, and you're not what I want." Sent it. Blocked her. She trained me to survive without her. Now I was thriving without her. I heard through Jeremy a few weeks later that she'd started seeing someone, a guy named Ben from her office. Didn't last. Word was he ghosted after 6 weeks. Said she was distant, cold. That made me pause for a second. Not to gloat, just to realize the cycle didn't start with me. I just happened to be the guy who stuck around long enough to feel it in full. I never reached out, never checked her socials. I didn't need updates to feel closure. My closure was built in wood and silence. My peace was earned, not given. She pulled further away with every night that passed, until there was nothing left of us but cold sheets and one-way conversations. So now I avoid her. Not out of hate, out of peace. Because silence isn't empty, not when you finally choose it. Thank you for watching.